Okay, so now we spice things up with compound inequality. So these inequalities combines two conditions, the and the or. So let's talk about the and first. So when you talk about and, both conditions must be true at the same time. So for example, if you have this means that x is more than -3 and it is also less than 2. So possible answers of x could be x can be equals to 0, it can be equals to 1, and it can also equal to 2. But it cannot be 3 or -4 or even -3 itself because of the sign and it falls out of range. So here is a neater representation of what I just talked about. First, when you talk about and, you have to look at the signs and also you have to look at the number range. So now let's talk about the or. Or means that either conditions can be true. So let's say, for example, an or condition will look like this. This means that x is either lesser than -2 or it is greater than 3. It's not the middle. It can never be, x can never be like -1, 0, 1, 2, or even 3. It is not possible. So this is also a neater representation of what I just talked about. And you will learn more of this along your academic journey when you grow older. So let's move on. So if you look at this is a compound inequality with the and condition. So it looks really complicated right now. So don't worry, we just need to remember the two rules that we talked about earlier on. First, it is to isolate the x. And number two, it is to apply the mirror rule where both sides must have the same effect. If you were to subtract on the left, you have to subtract on the right. So I will guide you through step by step. There are two methods to this approach. So let me tell you method 1. So first one, an easy way, it is to break up this compound inequality into two parts. So how will you see it? It will be 1 and 2. After breaking it up into two parts, you will solve each part individually. So if you were to look at the first part, how would you solve it? It is to remove the bottom first, remember, because it is a fraction. So you do that by multiplying both sides by 4. If you were to multiply it by 4, you will get this answer. Okay? And if you were to expand it, you will get this. And then you will have to isolate the x by keeping x to one side. So you do so by adding 5 to both sides and you will get this. And your final answer will be this. And if you want to put x on the left, remember to always flip the sign when you change the positions of the x. So it will be like this. And to solve the second part, this part, using red color, you'll do so by removing the denominator by multiplying both sides by 4. And then you will isolate x by removing the 5. Okay, so you get 2x smaller than 9. And you'll divide both sides by 2 to get this. So as your answers over here. So after solving your answers from just now, you will then combine both parts into one. And there you have your compound inequality solved. Now let me bring you through method 2. So if you see a big compound inequality like this, you can start off by removing the denominator. And how will you do that is to multiply everything by a common multiple. So what is a common multiple of 2, 4, and 1? The answer is 4. So you'll multiply everything by 4 and you will get you this answer. So after getting this answer, step 2, it is to isolate the x and you will get this. Do pause the video if you want to read and try it out on your own. And now step 3, once you get this, you always have to make sure x has no friends and you have to isolate it. So you do so by dividing everything by 2. And using the mirror rule, when everything's divided by 2, you'll get this answer.